Go.
Okay, so this is going to be a short film demonstrating GarageBand, how to put some music to a film with me, Dylan Adams, for today, DJ Dylan. So what happens is, we've got GarageBand here, and we start with new project. You double click that, and you can call it something, so I'm just going to call it test. Okay, click create. Simple as that. And then this screen comes up, okay? So, what we're going to do immediately is the film that your lecturers will make available. It's on Moodle, on Seminar, is this film that was specially made for students, pupils to be able to make music to, sort of upper key stage 2, and also year 7 and year 8 as well. Drag this into the centre and just let it go. And there is the film. The film is there. This is the soundtrack, the orange part. So you can listen to it. Well, I'm going to stop there. There's a click, 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 which is the metronome. Now, to get rid of that, we can go into Control and just untick the metronome. So this is the music that's with the film at the moment. I can show you the film there. And it goes on and on and on, so you could watch the whole film in your own time. We're not going to waste too much time about that. But you can get rid of the soundtrack by going to highlighting it, so it goes dark orange, and then cut. And then you're free now to make up your own soundtrack, okay? Now the way we're going to do it, the simplest way to do it is to use the loop. So you need to go to this button here, which is a loop. Click on that, and then you get all the available loops. Now, it would be cheating if you use this column, because this column is jingles, really. So if I click on it, it has sort of ready-made. You can use those if you want, but better still would be to use this column, because then we've got loops that you have to combine to make up your own music. So one way you could do it, we make up I'll demonstrate a way to make up some electronic dance music, which would be the simplest thing to do. So you start off with perhaps some beats, and you choose some beats that you like. And you scroll down until you find one you like. Now the ones with the squares on, or the blue, they're the ones that are available. The other ones aren't available. So let's say I quite like that one. It's a bit old school, like me. So what we're going to do is we'll put that in there, and we just drag it to the beginning, okay? And then electronic dance music is repetitive, so we're going to repeat it. We get the cursor to the top right-hand corner. It turns into a loop, a circle. That means you can drag it like this, okay? So if it's not a circle, you won't be able to drag, all right? But if you highlight it becomes a circle, then you can just drag. And just keep on dragging, because for now we'll just have it all the way through, okay? So there we are, here's our beats. What we can do now is we can press this cycle button here, which means that it's just going to repeat those beats over and over again. Which means that now we press reset here, and we can choose other instruments to go with it. Right? So say if I wanted piano, then we could listen to different piano sounds, loops, decide if they go. Okay. Here's another one. So I go with that, okay, I'll drag it, and you can either start it at the same time as the drums, Or you could leave a gap, which often happens, so you layer the music and just sort of repeat it. If I take this off, and we can watch it with the film, and you'll see that already what tends to happen is our mind makes patterns make sense. So it will seem like this music makes sense, okay? Okay, and you can gradually, build other sounds now. So you might decide that, okay, at that point I want to bring in some other music when he starts doing his dancing then, and you might decide, okay, what I want is some strings. And again, we can get it going and listen. There we are, just simply, or perhaps you could change it. Maybe that sounds better because he's an exotic looking character. So, and then you could just repeat it, and then your music now looks like this. Now, you can add all different sounds to your music. We're not going to go through it now, but there are all sorts of different things you can use. You can press that button there, which allows you to go into sound effects. Okay, so we were on the loops there, but if you press that button there, like a radio mast or microphone, it allows you to go to sound effects. So we could choose, there are lots of sort of machine sounds, which might be useful for the part when they're doing their robotics here, for example. Yeah, so you could simply just drag it in, and again repeat it if you want, and so on, just to give you an example. And so on, okay? So you can play around with that. If you ever want to split something and move it around, you can copy and paste it, or you can get the red cursor, go to edit, go to split, and then you can chop it up and move it around as well. So say I can go copy, and maybe I want to put that over here, and I can just paste, and it'll paste just like you would in Word. The final thing we're going to show you, because you can add as many instruments as you like. Here's your loops, remember. Here's your sound effects. You've got lots of different sound effects that you can use. Final thing we're going to show you is how to record your voice. You go to Track, New Track, Real Instrument, and then Create. And that gives you a track to record your voice. Now the trouble is, if you record your voice now, it's going to have all this in the background when you record. So you press these little headphones here, which mutes everything but this track. And now what I can do is, because it was advertising BBC Blast, I can say BBC, get creative. So if I just say those words, BBC, get creative. It's got a built-in microphone, okay? So at the moment, BBC, get creative. Okay. Now if I decided because the film, if we show the film, so at the moment it comes in now. BBC, get creative. I might decide that I want that earlier, perhaps. BBC, get creative. Okay. And then you can also add effects to it. So I go to the effects. This is different to the effects with the loops, but this is putting the effects on the track. Okay. And then I can choose some echo, that lunar bounce.
BBC, get creative.
Okay, or I can even put on, you can choose lots of different effects, but there's one there that's called long panning echoes, which puts lots and lots of echo on it, and we get this.
BBC, get creative.
And again, if you want to, you can duplicate the track, and you can split up what you've done. Remember I told you, so I'm going to put the red line where I want to split things. I go to edit, I go to split, and then I'm going to put the second part of that recording on one track, the first part on that track, which means that I can put different effects on different parts of the recording. So I'll put a little bit of echo on the first bit, lots of echo on the second bit, and then at the end it's going to sound like this. Moment, you can see that the sounds, you can't hear the voice because the other tracks are too loud, so we can make adjustments with the volume here, all right, and then the whole thing will sound like this. I might want to turn that up a bit.
BBC, get creative.
And there we are. So very quickly, that's how to make film music using GarageBand.